serving during World War II that this was one of the most significant events really that ever occurred in our world's history?
Well, I don't think I necessarily understood that at that time. You see, I had an uncle that served in World War I, and as we got nearer the going into World War II, he talked to my cousin and I a lot about what was going on in World War I. And of course, the technology of war has changed so much since then to World War II. The techniques of fighting the wars has changed so much. I didn't understand that what we did was so great, because I remember the pictures of when they were going to attack a position out of the trenches and over, and everybody getting killed. But fortunately for us in World War II, we fought a different style of war, and we didn't have that mass production of deaths. So I don't think that I really realized it at that time, how significant World War II would be in the eyes of history of the world.
Now, you also served in Korea, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Would you tell us a little bit about
well,
that?
I got out of the Army, went to college, got my degree, had a couple of jobs, and then I was in the IRR, Immediate Ready Reserve, as an officer, and I was one of the first recalled in July of 1950 when the Korean War started. And so I stayed in the States, but I went over as a replacement officer to Korea in '51 and took command of Company E, 23rd Infantry, 2nd Battalion, 23rd Infantry Regiment of the 2nd Division. And this is the company that ended up taking the key hill of Heartbreak Ridge, Hill 931. I joined the unit on September 26th, went up the hill with less than 40 people, got in position on the 4th of October. We were given our artillery forward observer, took one 8-inch howitzer, a 1H gun, and we started firing that howitzer, that gun, at the positions which were 100 yards or so ahead of us, and caved in all of the trenches and the fortifications that they had that we could possibly see. And we did that from the 4th through late in the evening of the 5th, and we put a searchlight on the hill on the morning of the 6th, and we took off at 6 o'clock in the morning, and up the hill we went. I only had one man wounded who subsequently died of shock in that operation going up the hill. And after we got Heartbreak Ridge, the key hill, we occupied the entire ridge with the battalion and other units of the 23rd Infantry. We had the French battalion and 2 other infantry battalions. We occupied it, and then I came off of the hill with less than 40 people after the first week, about the 2nd week of October, and then I had 300 men assigned to company, 31 present for duty at that time. And then they refilled my company with draftees just out of basic training as fillers with no NCOs. So all of the men that were in the company had to take on positions of NCOs to train the incoming troops.
Now, you had 3 tours in Korea, is that right?
Yes, that's right. I had the tour during the war, came back, and then I had an ROTC tour, and then I went to the advanced course of infantry officers, Berlin, Germany, back to the 82nd Airborne, then 18th Airborne Corps, and then Command and General Staff College, and then back to Korea. And I was the staff officer and assistant to the deputy commander of a battle group. Battle group was a beefed up infantry battalion.
Was this after the war was over?
After a war was over, it was over, and then I went back again as a battalion commander on the DMZ in Korea, and when I was put on the promotion list, the colonel, I was taken back to 8th Army where I became a plant officer.
Let me ask you a question about Korea vis-a-vis World War II. While you were there at Heartbreak Ridge and during the toughest parts of Korea, what was the difference, in your opinion, in the attitude of the soldiers in Korea versus World War II? Was there any difference, or what differences did you see?
No, you know, younger people, of course, but the attitude of the people in the units that I was in there was much the same as it was in World War II. After you get into combat, there's a camaraderie that you just cannot replace. And that's what it was. My three-man thing. Three men win the war. And that's what I preached to my command. You got to take care of you and that God's on your right and left. And to this day, the unit that I commanded on Heartbreak Ridge, we get together once a year.
Right.
And this past year I had, 21 of the NCOs showed up.
That's great.
It really is. But they were the caliber of people of what we had in World War II.
And you served in Vietnam also, right?
No, I did not
Or
serve.
during Vietnam?
Yeah, during Vietnam, I served in the office of the Chief of Staff of the United States Army as a committee chief that determined when and who, what units, by units, not by placements, what units went to Vietnam. So only one division went over before I took that job.
Well, on behalf of everybody, not just the History Center, I want to thank you for taking your time today, but I primarily want to thank you for everything you did for the country in all three wars. And thank you for your service. You're a hero to a lot of us.
Let me tell you, I'm proud to have been in the military. I was raised in the military from the age of 17 on. I knew nothing about life, and I learned. And I'm proud of what the military has done. And it's no doubt in my mind. Without us and our military, we wouldn't be where we are today, economically, technically, scientifically, or anything. Revolves around what is happening in wars.
Well, I agree, and thank you for being such a big part of it.
Well, a little part.
Isn't it?
You know, I had some wonderful experiences and some horrible experiences.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we?
Well, not at all. You know, it's not often that a person gets this opportunity to express their opinions and so forth. And I thank you people for calling on me and allowing me to be part of it.
Well, we thank you.
Thank you, sir.